Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are focusing in and we are zooming in on a very important topic, and that is to not allow the narcissist to judge you. Stop allowing the narcissist in your life from judging you. Stop falling prey, stop falling victim to the harsh judgment, criticism, the opinions, the negative validation that are always thrust upon you from a narcissist. The narcissist will make their way to become superior, more important, and overwhelming to you in terms of their ability to manipulate, control others through their charm, through their seduction, through their assets, their money, their position in the workplace, their position in your family or in your relationship. And they have now taken the driver's seat. They've taken the helm of you, your emotions. And oftentimes it began as a very open-hearted and vulnerable relationship where the two of you, or within your family, you were open to this input from them. You were open to this relationship. Or maybe you had no choice. This person is a family member or is a sibling or is someone at your workplace who is very extremely judgmental and critical of you, and you feel that it's really stifling you, stunting your growth, but furthermore, it's causing you to feel very unhappy, and it's causing you to doubt yourself, or really not allowing you to be who you are. And oftentimes that is one of the ploys that are oftentimes some of the original hooks that I think that really land the narcissist with the quote-unquote victims is this narcissist presents themselves as the authority, the one who is better than, more important than, has better values, stronger values, and is very assertive on those, and oftentimes to the point of a boundary violation. So they're not welcoming of you, your input, your feelings, and certainly not open to validating them. So the narcissist will be one who is extremely judgmental, whether it's a covert or whether it's an overt. They have a presence that makes them present themselves in terms of a facade, a mask, a exterior that they are better than, superior than those around them. They're going to be pushy, haughty, arrogant, or covert, meaning very aloof, very underhanded, very much in the shadows, in the corner, not really out and open and communicative, but they tend to bottle a lot up and keep a lot in. And so the covert ways are that they are so bottled up with their opinions, their feelings, their values that they don't ever share them. So it's this feeling of insinuated guilt, fear, and obligation that tends to be very judgmental. And so people oftentimes inadvertently, unconsciously, subconsciously, then are following their expectations. They feel like they have to meet a lifelong commitment of serving them, their judgment, and their expectations. So they're always living in reaction to fulfill this individual's need for you to be a certain person. For example, you hear about the beauty pageants with these children who are taken to a beauty pageant, and they're like 2, 3, 4, or 5, and then they're all dressed up. They're in these crowns. They're they're in these beauty pageants, and they're not allowed to just, play, get a scratch. They're not allowed to be less than perfect, and you can bet that it's a very difficult routine. That's like the typical narcissist, and you can just only imagine what it's like for that little child who has to go to beauty pageants at age 2, 3, 4, and 5, walk a certain way, dress a certain way, have makeup on before your time, wear this, that, or be apparently perfect. This is a lot of pressure, and then so that individual has to always strive to meet the judgment and expectations of this narcissist, because the narcissist oftentimes will view others as an extension of themselves. They're not allowing them to be, feel, have emotions, interests, values, choices that are other than theirs. So they're not able to pull out the strengths, pull out the talents, pull out the happiness, and validate others in a positive way. They're always trying to cast on and project their needs onto this individual. So like an extension, if you think of it like a vacuum, you put on an attachment, and then, you can make it do different functions. A vacuum, you can vacuum the floor, then you put on a different attachment, you can get the upholstery, you got the thing for the blinds. I mean, they literally view others as extensions that they can basically key into, attach onto, latch onto. Here's one who can make me feel this. Here's one who can make me feel this. Here's another who can make me look good here. They view others an extension of themselves. You might not be for a joke here, you might not be a vacuum attachment. You might be a ladder. You might be a hammer. You might be something else. You might have a whole different personality that is wanting and yearning to shine and is connected to, you might love nature and you were told to never play outdoors, that it's dirty, it's yucky. You might have always wanted a puppy, but you were told that a puppy is disgusting. You might have always wanted to go fishing. You might have wanted to build things, but they said it's too loud. You might have wanted to be a musician, and they said, we don't play that here. Sorry about that. You might have had a lot of negative messages from this narcissist and forced into doing a lot that you did not want to do, forced to become a person to fulfill their expectations. So that's why we see these people like the Tiger Woods, going on these, relationship things, escapades. You see these people, blowing a gasket, who are just trying to release pressure. We can call forth all sorts of different stars, the Dennis Rodman, the Michael Jackson. Who knows at the seat of a lot of these disorders, but, these people are they're trying to express the real them. Maybe they were under the hand of a very controlling, narcissistic individual, spouse or other, who's trying to force them to be something that they're not. And there's a great David Hawkins, the great Dr. Hawkins, who wrote Power versus Force, as well as a number of other books. But he talks about the emotional energy that was in your body. And there's an experience of personal power, which is very opposing to or contradictory to force. So that's why we talk about force in people forcing themselves to do things, which can eventually lead to disease and leading to the body breaking down. It's just like a bodybuilder who is forcing themselves to lift all this weight, and then they end up tearing their muscles. More power would be lifting something more realistic, something that they can actually lift. With more repetitions, lower weight to get them to where they want to be. That is true power. But and he really discusses this in quite in depth in this book, Power versus Force, and how your body automatically and naturally attunes to power in what is good for you and in that which is in your best interest. So he talks about muscle testing, and he talks about how your body resists and how it responds to different words or languages or ideas. Different words, for example, need versus deserve. In deserve, muscle tests stronger than need. And, when you talk about what you deserve, it's really in your solar plexus, and it's really true to and aligned with you, your inner purpose, in alignment of your body, mind, and spirit, versus if you need oftentimes like a should, a could, and it's coming from outside of yourself and very much in a narcissistic sort of command. You need to do this. There's a force there. There's a disrespect. There's a ignoring of the who and who you really are. So it's really not productive to be that forceful, especially with others who are children. So, it's really important that you understand that empathy is so important to connecting with yourself. So if you have felt really mulled over and forced, you need to really develop the tool and practice of self-empathy in understanding that you don't need to force yourself to be and live up to the expectations that a narcissist has of you, that the inner guiding tuning fork, the inner measuring stick should really be within you. in what you want to achieve, what you want to become, how you want to feel, how you want to live, what you want to practice in your life. And you really need to then attune to that and become very clear about what success is for you, because success might be something very different to you than it is to the narcissist. And really, it's a true internal design. You might want to be wealthy. The narcissist might tell you you should live an impoverished life, that you're not close to God if you're living a fabulous life. The narcissist might have other expectations of you. You'll never be good enough. They will fill you with negative messages. The narcissist might have expectations that you're to get married to this and this kind of person, yet you might be attracted to a different type of person. And of course, this is all on a spectrum. So it's not to say any, person who tells you should do something or need to do something is a narcissist. We're not saying that. We're talking about really internalizing your expectations for yourself and not just to meet those of another, because your own motivation and your inspiration will be more powerful once you tune into and register and have a clear idea of what's really the driving force within you and what motivates you and what inspires you and what makes you tick and what truly makes you happy. And sometimes that is a process of discovery, because you might realize that there were maybe some negative people who set up negative desires in you earlier in your life, and these people might be narcissistic, who took you down the wrong path. So now, as I always talk about the recovery journal, it's almost like creating a new treasure map for yourself. Before, earlier on your journey, you were over here. It took you to some places you didn't want to go, things you didn't want to see, things you didn't want to feel or experience. It's time to do a reroute, a reprogramming, and then redraft your map. I mean, literally, your personal life is really like a map. It's, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to see? What do you want to feel? What do you want to have? What do you want to become? These are all your new tuning fork for your vision moving forward. And it's so important to then re-emphasize that if you're slacking there, to get back into your affirmations. I really want to pursue my dreams. I can pursue my dreams. I really do want to be happy. I really do want to live the good life. I really do want to make it happen. I really do want to have a 4-car garage. But I'm going to do this with love, and I do this because this is what I believe in, and this is what I know I can attain, and this is what I'm going to do to get there. I really want to have horses. I really want to have a garden. I really want to have a vegetable garden. I really want to start juicing. All these things that are perhaps things you want to do, but you haven't been able to pursue your dreams because you're trying to still live as the extension of a narcissist. You're told that you need to dress a certain way, that, maybe that you don't want to dress. You are told to eat a way that you don't want to eat. You were told to circulate in a circle of people that you don't want to circulate in. You were told to go and, participate in certain activities that you don't want to participate in. And not to say that you should be lazy, but what I'm suggesting is that there might be other activities, circles of friends, interests that you want to pursue that are more suited to you and your true interests and your true inclinations. I get this all the time, that I was never allowed to go fishing as a kid. I was told that I had to do karate or vice versa. I always wanted to take karate, and instead my father always took me fishing. So now's the time, get yourself a fishing license. Go to the dojo and sign yourself up for some classes. Go to the dance hall and learn how to salsa. Go to the yoga studio and learn how to do yoga rather than tap dance. I mean, in your heart of all the different things that you want to pursue, the places you want to go, what you want to be, and maybe you're going through a midlife crisis where you're having to re-innovate yourself. And this is really the exciting time. When you're in the valley, that's when you really, begin to look up. That's when you really get an idea of your vision and you say, okay, I've got to get a foothold here. I've got to get a handhold here. I've got to get geared up here. And I'm going to continue to look up to my destination. And eventually I'm going to get there. But I'm going to get there with knowing what I want to be, do, and have. And I'm not going to do it out of struggle. I'm not going to do it out of self-sabotage. I'm going to do it and I'm going to enjoy those next steps. And when you're looking up, you're actually realizing that it's not that steep. It's actually that you're motivated and you're being guided by your higher self. That's what the looking up is. And when you continue to do that, it's actually your higher self that is guiding you. And then the struggle will cease once you finally embrace the voice of your higher self that's been calling to you through all these relationships, all these negative issues, all these negative situations. It's actually your higher self that's trying to bring you through. And once you embrace that and begin to pursue it, you'll find that a lot of those expectations and judgments will fall away, are no longer hurtful, but you'll be living according to your own internal guiding system that is the true you that the narcissist maybe had severed you from earlier on in your life. It is peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.